Welcome back to this channel. Today I'm just going to be yapping in a state of uncertainty. I don't know what to really put on this feeling, to be honest, but I feel like lately I'm just going through a turbulent time with like very thought-provoking stuff. But I don't even want to be like, well, it's something like this and it's bigger than myself. Like, I don't know, I'm just kind of being honest on the camera because I don't know, at some points I'm like, man, this shit is sad. Like, why am I feeling like this? And yeah, it could feel kind of depressing, honestly, when I think about how I think, what stuff have I been doing up to this point to where I just had like a breaking point about a week ago. Hey, week ago. Anyone know that song? Anyways, yeah, that may have dated me a little bit here, but it is very strange that I started reading a book called The Six Pillars of Self-Esteem, and what's crazy with what I'm reading in this book is like I'm finding a lot of things that resonate with me, and when you, at least for me, when I personally read something that I'm like, damn, you just kind of, and it resonates with you, and you're like, you just sit there for like 10 seconds or more and just being like, shit, that's me. And that thing talk about it there was like what I'm suffering from. And you start to think of the times of what could have been, and if you wish you learned this sooner or later, and it doesn't really matter now because it's like all you could do is what you can right now with your life. But yeah, it is strange because I had this moment when I was in the gym and I just see this girl in there that I just find absolutely like, wow, like she's got a great body, nice face. I really want to talk to her. But it's the gym. And I also don't want to approach. And then I'm overthinking. And then it just went down this rabbit hole where I came to the conclusion of like, wow, I think I have low self esteem. And when I thought about that for a really long time, I was like, damn, if I get this problem focused on and make some tangible steps for it, I can maybe change how I think about things, and to where silly things is trying to talk to someone and maintaining eye contact and believing in myself are, ingrained in me with a high self esteem. And then I went down these different topics of like, well, if your self efficacy and your self respect are off, then your whole being is off. And today's Tuesday. It's about 8 days ago. I came to the realization that I need to work on this. And I've been journaling since. And I don't journal a lot. Like, I find it very boring. Sometimes it's very slow change. It can be very uncomfortable, especially when you try to not, um, I guess, censor yourself of like what you're thinking. Trying to put thoughts to pen. Because I write hard too. Like, I kind of fist it like a Neanderthal. I try to do like correct, proper like writing, but it's tough. So with that added factor, I'm like writing hard on this paper, trying to get my thoughts down as fast as they're coming into my head, and it's just really challenging. And I'm just in the gym, and I'm like, I see this guy walk up to this girl that I'm like eyeballing and interested in, and he right in front of me. I get like I'm sitting on a bench. There's a bench right in front of me, and she's doing like leg exercises. Mind you, we've never made eye contact. I don't know. Like, again, like these thoughts I'm thinking are just like signs of low self esteem, and even sharing them is like it shouldn't even be like that. Like having these doubts of, oh, Is she interested in me? Does she even like me? Blah blah blah. I don't see any icon, and like she's right in front of me, like just working out. And this guy just comes up and like talks to her and introduces himself. And I don't know if it went good or not, but in that moment, I was just really disappointed in myself. I'm like, yeah, that was probably an opportunity to walk up to her, and I let it slip by because I was in my head. And then you start to think about, well, most of my life has kind of been in my head. There's been moments where I had clarity and pushed through my fear and I didn't regret it, but more times than not, I feel like I lose this battle. And it's a sobering thought because once I start thinking about these things and put it into my consciousness, I'm like, shit, that's not a good thing. I don't like this as part of me, and I can change it, hopefully. And it's going to take a lot of hard work and time. And, maybe someone's kind of going through something similar here, but I feel like it could be hard on myself sometimes. Some days I have really good days, and some days I have really bad. And it just, I don't feel sometimes with at least my friends that live near me are going through a similar battle because they all have like relationships and like, I don't know, like a significant other to maybe confide into. And just because you have a partner doesn't mean you're like happy, or maybe you have that outlet. But sometimes I'm cool with being with myself sometimes, but lately I have thoughts and feelings of, meeting someone and sharing moments with them and dating and so forth. And it's just a very like crappy time for that, honestly. If I was in like South America, like Facebook dating, I guess I'd be killing it because that's where I get most matches. But anything Tinder that's like 20-mile radius, crickets, jack shit. And in the gym, no, no, I never catch a glance of a girl that I'm interested in looking at me when I work out. And, I think that's fine. And some people are like, you don't really need to look into that. But I feel like that's an indicator of interest if someone is at least glancing your way and you hold eye contact and you share a moment there. But yeah, nothing. Nothing on that front. And I'll get days of like, yeah, I'm fine doing this. And then other days I'm like, shit, like it would be nice to get some going, chat to someone and get like something going. But, you have to do clubs and all these things. And I think at the end of the day, it's something in your power to do. I think for me, I'm trying to work on the mental aspect of it because there's clearly something that's like not all right with that and how I think about things and the thoughts that come into my head. And when I spiral with anxiety, like half the time I'll be consulting like Claude, dude. Like, what am I doing with AI nowadays? It's like my little therapist. And I've done therapy in the past, but like it served its purpose and stuff, and I thought I was doing pretty good. I think the last time I had it was like four, 4 years ago, maybe, give or take. And yeah, I feel like every day I'm just trying to learn as much as I can, and some days I feel like I'm not making as much progress. And I don't know, would it have been nice to be ignorant of these feelings and not try to strive to other things? I ask myself that too sometimes because yeah, this like working on yourself shit is fucking brutal. Like, I don't know, it is a lot more daunting when I think about what I'm faced with now, and I have to be patient with myself and just try to be present. But I just have this voice gnawing at me that you're not at the place you want to be mentally, and you need to start doing. That's what I'm hoping with journaling and reading this book I'm on, and then I think I'm gonna reread Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, because I found that book very profound, and I've read like The Courage to Be Disliked and The Power of Now, and I read these things and I feel like I retain them, but then I just make these videos where it's like I don't even think I really deeply understood it. Like it'll come up in my head sometimes of like, okay, remain present. Your thoughts are not you, and all this thing, and I think I'm kind of there, and it's like now that I'm realizing it, I think that's the part of like stopping that pattern of being so neurotic, which I've done not really fond of myself with. And I think when I'm in the presence of others, I'm actually not thinking as much, which is kind of funny. I used to. Well, there was this recent time going out, and it's any time when there's like an attractive girl, I just like shell up, and I'm really annoyed at that. And I think it's stunted some of my growth in other aspects of my life. And yeah, I just need to find some direction there. And, hoping this video serves as a way for like others out there that, working on yourself is challenging, but I think it's worth it in the end. I've never regretted when I had these feelings or like these moods of where I get it like really introspective, but like, damn, stuff like today, it just kind of takes the color out of everything. And I really don't want this video to come off like being like ungrateful for what I have. I think part of that is when I realize those things, it's like, you know, the things I'm thinking about, are they first world problems? But I don't know. I feel like they have some merit, value, and not superficial. Something that's, about me that's not from the outside, but it's internal work. And it's very abstract and challenging. And I only know where this will lead me, but yeah, I think dating is just a huge trigger for that in like interpersonal relationships, because some things I read in this book I actually know and have. So it's like some pillars are missing in the 6 pillars of self-esteem, and I don't know, just the gym and this girl just trigger things that I may have been repressing for a while that are now ugly to be conscious of. And you gotta face that shit head on. You can't just bury it deep, because before you know it, life may go by you quick. And I never understood the phrase of seize the day, but I looked it up earlier before recording this, and now I kind of understand what it means. And you really live each day like your last. And I don't know, sometimes I'm thinking I have all this time to figure it out, and then some days I'm like, no, that's not guaranteed. Could die tomorrow, could die in a week, I don't know. Not like I live a high octane, high risk life, but you never know with these things. So I think that's why I get hard on myself sometimes when I don't take an opportunity that, like, of talking to someone. But it's a gym, you're not there to like socialize and meet people, but also I don't want it to stop me from potentially meeting someone that could be a great connection, girlfriend, lover, who knows. But at the end of the day, I'm all in my fucking head here, and I'm just yapping. I think everything's gonna be all fine in the end, and just trying to find faith in that. So hopefully, through my incoherent rambling of these thoughts I shared, you gain some value from this video, and thank you for your time for watching as always. Peace.